The Activision Blizzard deal might not be as secure as many originally thought it to be. There has been many bumps in the road, and now the CMA is officially investigating the deal as well. They laid out on their website exactly what we can expect out of these investigations, and there does seem to be some serious reason for concern. Now, they will be investigating the impact of the deal and what it could mean for competition, including how it might affect game prices going forward. Furthermore, they will also be looking at how all of this is going to be affecting game services like Game Pass, as there are some concerns raised that the servers might have an unfair advantage should Activision Blizzard games be released there day and date or even exclusively. Now, let's also just back up a little bit. The Activision Blizzard deal has been under heavy scrutiny for quite some time now, with many pushing back against the deal. One major outspoken publisher has been Sony, who cited anti-competitiveness as the main reason. Now, with all due respect to Sony, they themselves have been engaging in anti-competitive behavior for years now, and I do not believe for 1 second that they are actually worried about the gamer. Their major concern is what all of this will do to their profits, and honestly, I don't blame them. Microsoft and every other developer and publisher is exactly the same, but I also think that it is worth pointing out what the main reason behind Sony really is. With that said though, there are some serious concerns from many different independent bodies that serve to protect their people. Any deal that will result in higher prices for us gamers is a big no-no for me. Now, I would also be lying if I said that I wasn't hoping that the deal will go through. I exclusively game on Xbox and PC, so as a member of Game Pass, I do welcome all of those titles day and date and not having to pay for it. I also think that this will probably result in PlayStation stepping up their service as well and also start to offer better games. PlayStation already has the best library of games in the world, so bringing those titles to more players would be great, and I think a little bit more competition will finally do that for them. However, with that, PlayStation might also be worried for nothing, because the investigation from the CMA could actually be more serious than many think. On their official website, they laid out everything very nicely and explain exactly what they are going to do during every phase and what will be happening afterwards. So for their first phase investigation, they say, we first carry out an initial review of the deal to determine whether there are any competition concerns. This is known as our phase 1 investigation. If we aren't concerned about the deal, we clear it. But if we have competition concerns that are not solved during our initial review, we carry out a more in-depth investigation known as phase 2. Now, as we know, there are competition concerns, and that does come from Sony. While other publishers and developers like Epic and Apple and Google did not share those concerns, PlayStation raised many, and considering that they are not only a publisher and a developer but also a platform, the CMA decided to listen. Now, because of all of the issues that was raised and could not be solved during the first phase, they have now officially moved on to the second phase. They say at phase 2 we build on our work at phase 1 and gather more evidence from the merging businesses and others to investigate potential issues with competition that could arise as a result of the merger. Then there is also something called issue statement published. The issue statement shows the focus of our phase 2 investigation and set out what are called theories of harm, which are the potential concerns that we are investigating. At this point, we invite anyone, including the members of the public, to share their views with us. Then they will do an analysis of the evidence. After publishing our issue statement, we continue gathering and reviewing evidence, and we often meet with the businesses proposing to merge and their representatives on site to learn more about their business. We then hold hearings with the main parties and sometimes third parties to ask them questions about the evidence that we have received and explore key issues. If we think that the merger could have a negative impact on competition, we also start thinking about potential solutions to those concerns known as remedies. Now, right now the CMA is still in the middle of phase 2, and that is where they are taking opinions from the public. Once they have heard all of the concerns from the public, they will then move on. Now, to pinpoint exactly what they are investigating, they lay out everything pretty clearly. Full exclusivity, the potential for Microsoft to limit the availability of Activision content on other consoles. Timed exclusivity, the potential for Microsoft to delay Activision content from appearing on other consoles. Poorer quality, the potential for Microsoft to offer lower quality options for Activision content on other consoles, such as not having access to features or upgrades which will be available on Microsoft devices. Pricing, the potential for Microsoft to raise prices for Activision content on other console gaming platforms. Now, once again, this investigation is happening around those issues, and this is the issues that Sony also brought up themselves. Now, it is also worth pointing out that Sony has been doing all of the above for years now. They pay for exclusive content, they pay for games to be timed exclusive to themselves, and sometimes they just plain out pay for games not to go to Game Pass at all. Anyway, this deal seems to be under heavy scrutiny, and honestly, it might actually be in trouble.